2.
The corporations have not yet won.
Community still exists in small tucked-away areas not often talked about.
Artists and businesses beginning to thrive in places thought to be defeated.
Dave, I like to call him David Francis.
And I, Tom Maslowski,
Here to give you a glimpse of what's going down in downtown J-Town.
We're going to be interviewing all of our favorite musicians,
Artists and business owners
that give every ounce of themselves into what they do.
What's happening? Oh, I like that.
and this is what's happening. This is, in fact, what's going down in downtown J-Town,
Yeah.
episode 32.
It's what's happening now.
That's what's happening now. We have with us Mr. Chris Broach from, well, many bands, but mostly known for, and I do apologize, you're mostly known for Braid, man.
Yeah.
I heard that name quite a bit when I was growing up.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah. I sure did. I mean, I don't think I'm that much older than you are, but I did hear it quite a bit.
No, yeah. I don't even know if you're older than me. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah. Well, cool. It's a lot of people know that band.
So now, but you're not here for Braid tonight. You are
No.
here for a new project.
I am.
Called
The band called Sunset. But just for your information, if you're going to Google it or look it up on Spotify or iTunes or one of those places, it's SNST.
I see.
So there's no vowels.
Yeah, vowels are a waste of time.
Yeah, who
right?
cares? You don't need them.
If you don't know what I'm implying by the consonants, then we shouldn't even talk. Dave is also, of course, here with us, but he's being really quiet. I don't think he's very happy because he did not get the same burger that I got downstairs at the pub.
I had a pretty basic burger.
I heard a little burp there, man.
Was that a little I'm cutting that out.
Was that
My stomach hurt burger. It was like,
burger? I know Austin at Chicago Street Pub is probably going to shoot me for doing this, but I do have a couple burger hacks because I eat there so often. I want to have something else. So today I had a pulled pork, fried egg, mango habanero burger on pretzel roll. Holla.
I don't even know what that means.
It wasn't on challah. It wasn't on a challah roll.
No hollow. No,
Pretzel
you're right.
roll, yeah.
You're right. You're right.
You
You're
said
right.
pretzel roll, then
I
you
did.
said challah. I'm not sure which one.
I just got called out, man.
I
It
was
was a
actually-
pretzel roll.
I was actually upset because they did not have any of the cream of chicken and wild rice soup.
Oh,
They just run out.
I didn't even know they'd made that.
Yeah, they ran out like 5 minutes before I went down there.
Man, your doctors are mad at you guys right now.
Doc.
My doctor would be mad at me if I was eating that. I have a doctor. I have a doctor. That's how old I am. I
Seriously.
have a doctor.
So, I mean,
Soup
I
is
think
good.
everyone's got a doctor. What, Dave? I keep slamming.
Soup
Dave?
is good for you.
Dave.
What?
Soup is
good food.
soup is good food. That's a Dead
Followed
Kennedy
by a
song.
burger
Can we?
with
Can we?
cheese.
Let's do a 3-part harmony. Guys, ready?
Soup is good food.
And once again, I am not known for my singing abilities. I am, in fact, folks, a bassist.
We got that harmony in though.
Yeah.
All right.
I can
You
dig
worked
it.
around it. You did. You did great.
I did it.
Chris is a true pro. Hey, and speaking of working on crazy things that you don't normally do, is that an acoustic guitar
It is.
I see sitting there?
It is an acoustic guitar.
So what do you got, man? What is this?
It's a Martin guitar. I decided at one point that I needed a nice acoustic guitar because I didn't have one for ever. I literally never had one, and I always had to borrow an acoustic guitar to play if we did acoustic, which I don't like doing. But I'm excited to play acoustic for you today.
I did like the sound check. I can't
Oh.
lie.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So what is the name of this one here?
So this song is called National Monument, and it's on our new record, which is called Turn Out the Lights. Not to be confused with another prominent person who put out a record recently called Turn Out the Lights, whose name I shall not mention, but literally we've had that name for the record for a long time, but it's only just recently finally come out. So, for Sunset.
Okay. I was going to ask a
Julian
whole bunch of
Bake-
questions. I'm going to wait.
Julian Baker is the other one who literally released the album called Turn Out the Lights at the same time. It's on radio at the same time.
I don't even know what a Julian Baker is anyway. So.
Well, they bake julienne, and they bake like pizza. and,
Julienne.
Julian Caesar salad.
Well, they make Julienne Caesar, yeah. And Julianne is the sister.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So you want to hear a song?
Yeah, I kind of want to hear it.
All right.
Now, wait a minute. One more question. I can't even
Yeah.
help myself. You said you had that for the album for a long time. How long has this album been out?
Oh, well, it just came out November 10th on vinyl, but it's kind of been out digitally since before then.
Oh, okay.
But really, the real release date is November 10th. There were a lot of problems with the release. So to make a long story very short, we were going to release it ourselves. We found a label that would release it instead because we actually really liked the way the record turned out. So I felt like it needed a push.
Sure.
So we found a label that was going to do it, and that label sort of lied and said they were ordering it and doing the record, and finally nothing happened, and they missed the release date and
Holy
all this
cow.
stuff. And finally I said, hey, are you doing this record or not? Because I'm like waiting here to do this record. And they said, no, we're going bankrupt. And
Oh, no.
I'm not going to name the label, but I can tell you later about it. But
Oh, man.
but that said, we finally got a great label called Rhyme and Reason Records behind us, and they're a great label out of New York, New Jersey. They share an office with Bar None Records. They work closely with them on some other stuff too. So, but it's really exciting. They have got a few good artists. They're not a huge label. They've probably got 10 or so artists, but we're happy to be a part of that label. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
And they've come along and they found the record because we were going to do radio promotion on our own when the other thing fell through. And the radio people that were doing it said, hey, I know this label. You want to talk to them? I'm like, sure, I'll talk to a label.
yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
what happens again, you
yeah.
know? But anyway, long story short, it's out and it's a really good record. So I hope you hear it.
All right.
Here's a song from it that I've never played acoustically before today.
Nice.
So. Let's build for today. Let's take what we can. Let's finish them off with capital business. Let's leave them to rest in capital debt and ask them for more to pick up the pieces. And you can keep all of your capital interest. And you can keep all of your capital interest. Don't start, don't ask the questions. Don't shake the house. Just listen to the television. Don't shake the house. We build what we want, we take what we can. We leave them with just the cash for the diplomat. And you can keep all of your capital interest. And you can keep all of your capital interest. Don't start, don't ask the questions. Don't shake the house. Just listen to the television. Don't shake the house. Don't ask for anything. Don't shake the house. Just listen to the radio. Don't shake the house. Don't start, don't ask the questions. Don't shake the house. Just listen to the television. Don't shake the house. Don't ask for anything. Don't shake the house. Just listen to the radio. Don't shake the house.
That was absolutely great.
Hey.
That was awesome. I never heard the studio version, but that was fantastic.
Hey, thanks very much.
Do you care to elaborate on the meaning of that song by chance?
Yeah,
Slightly?
it's actually quite fitting for what's happening right now. I wasn't happy with the state of the electoral process that was happening.
Sure.
You know, I
Sure.
it's really about being short. The song's about being short-sighted and not thinking about the long-term goals of a people or a country or a nation. You know, I mean, really, honestly, that's truly. I couldn't be angrier at the current administration and the people that are in the White House.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever hated somebody more than I hate Donald Trump. If he was in front of me and there weren't Secret Service around, I'd slap him in the face. And I don't really. It's not a threat. I want to make that so 100% clear. I don't mean that in any threatening, weird way. Because, first of all, you can't assault people, and you know I don't really mean that I would do that. I'm not a physically like angry person where I do physical things, but I get such a rise and so angry at what's happening, and this jerk is trying to. Listen, nobody ever got better by giving more money to the richest people on earth. Nobody ever got anything by giving everything to people that already have everything. If they can't invest right now in people and jobs and the things that are important in our nation, and you and me and everybody else out there who's busting their ass every day, and then this asshole president goes on television and says, "Oh, this person's working 3 jobs. I really respect them." Fuck you. Why don't you make it so that they don't have to work 3 jobs?
Sure.
Why don't you make a law that says they have to be paid a living wage?
Well,
Don't make me and you and everybody else who works for fucking pennies compared to what Donald Trump has and
Sure.
all of his rich buddies that he pretends he's not in cahoots with. And I'm telling you, don't tell me that like my taxes should go to pay for subsidies for Walmart to pay their people less than a living wage. Walmart tells their people to go, you get on food stamps. While they go and vote against those people's
Shop
best
at
interests.
Walmart if you work there, shop there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Use your paycheck. Right.
As a former employee, yeah.
So sorry. I get real riled up.
No,
and so
and
part of this is like, I'm talking about, in here there's capital interest. Capital interest is taxed at a lower rate than income, and all these assholes that are rich as F on the top are the ones who are getting taxed less anyway, because that's where they make their money is capital gains. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. So I'm very, very much
It's so
political
speechless right now.
Yeah.
No, I have things to say. I'm just taking my time. The whole reason I started doing this show was because I feel like it's time for everyone to stop looking to.
It's the first line of what we say, the opening. Corporations have not yet won.
I've been trying to find a way to.
They're close though, man. If they pass this anti-net neutrality bullshit, you know what they want to control? They want to control the channels that you listen to, the things that you watch. They want and they're already doing it.
Yes.
Fox News started it
Sure.
fucking 20 years ago
But
or
we
whenever
don't-
they started it.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
Contribute.
Yeah.
What we need to do, I think, is build something else. The bad guys, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
have built something that works very efficiently at this point.
And it's straight up propaganda.
So
It's straight up
what we
real
can
life
do
full on propaganda.
is start just supporting
Lies.
our communities, supporting each other. If you have a friend that makes something or builds something, help them out. Because in the long run, that's us building something else, something new. You can grow your own food now. You can grow, vegetable. It's just time for us to kind of start looking to ourselves, because you can yell at them until we're blue at the face, but they're obviously not really touched or concerned by.
Well, and that's the problem, though, right? We live in a country where a country is a country because it's made up of people that all supposedly have a shared
Place you were born in.
well, really, that's it, right? Yeah, I mean, a shared place you were born in, right? But you're supposed to have a shared culture, and you're supposed to have a shared sort of goal. You're supposed to be in it together. And when you're a politician and you're in a place of power like that, you're supposed to listen to your constituents and not tell your constituents what to think. That's the problem we have right now. And I'm telling you, I think I agree with you 100% that we should support each other and please buy my record. That's great. It helps me, you know. Please go buy other people's records and support this scene and the stuff. If you're listening to this now, support the scene. Go to a show. Go to see people. I wish I could do it more. I have a couple of kids now. We have a third one on the way, so I don't get to do that as much as I would like to. And I get caught up in consumerism quite a bit because I gotta put them in daycare. Or I gotta do this thing, or I don't know.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah, Christmas. Here comes Black Friday. You know,
Cyber Week is among us. Yeah.
And is that the main thing that keeps you writing music? Has that always been something that has driven you?
No. You know what? I only really became. You mean the political side of things? And
Yeah.
No. It is now. It wasn't always that way.
So would you say the whole album has kind of been like you getting these things off your chest, or is it just a?
There's other things in there. You know, I mean, I also quit drinking alcohol. I quit. I drank for a long time, and I stopped. And I had quit only about 6 months before I did the vocals. Before I did the vocals on this record, and so maybe 5 months, very shortly, like in July, and I was doing vocals. This is in 2015. So, and I was doing vocals, recording the vocals in December. So I was pretty new to it, doing it that way. I don't think I'd ever recorded a record where I wasn't drinking while I was recording and singing and doing everything.
Sure.
Certainly I had, at every recording session before then, I had a Diet Coke, a whiskey, and a hot tea and water all lined up in front of me, and
Sure.
probably a beer too. And so I just sort of I'd had enough of that. I'm not a young. Compared to other people, some people, I'm a young man, but I'm not a young. I'm not 20,
No.
right? And I just I'm 41. I just turned 41, and so. Drinking and doing all that stuff was really getting in the way of me living a life that was normal. And not like it wasn't like I wasn't sometimes I would get out of control. I mean, that's part of why I had a drinking problem, but not in like an angry way or crazy, although anyway,
It can come out. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
that
it does come
there's
out.
a lot that happens when you drink that you don't
Sure.
mean to have come out. But it's not like that for me. It wasn't that. It was just like I was done because I had a kid and she was 9 months old or it had just turned a year, and I can't be hungover and trying to take care of my kid in the morning. I can't be hungover and dropping her off at daycare, or I certainly can't be like. Go to a bar after go to a bar like in the afternoon and then go pick up my kids at daycare,
Sure.
and it's not like that I was getting wasted and that was happening, but it's very easily could have,
Sure.
and the other thing was, man, I was just done with it. It wasn't helping me, it was hurting me. As soon as I quit drinking, I lost like 30 pounds,
Sure.
immediately. My blood pressure went down, like I finally got the right, medications that I probably was trying to self-medicate for,
Sure.
and I didn't know I had all these other issues until I started seeing a psychiatrist who was like really urging me to stop drinking. He's like, maybe you should cut it out. So, maybe 1 glass or 2 glasses is fine. he's like, but not every night and not, whatever. And I was like having like 4 or 5, drinking a bottle and a half of wine, or whatever.
Sure. I'm no stranger to that.
Yeah. And so it was just hard for me, man. I'd quit before for 3 years and that was fine, but I wasn't really, I don't know, man. Look, so there's some stuff on here, like, there's a song called Remember How It Ends, which is literally like, you have to remember how it ends, man, because you're fucking drowning. And if you go right back into it and you forget, and if I forget what it's like to be a drunk, it's easy for me to want to go get drunk. And if I forget,
like, one time. Yeah, right.
If I forget what it's like to be hungover, I can go get drunk. But there are things that keep me from drinking. My family, a hangover is a huge reason for me not to drink because, at the age that I am now, like I would get hungover and I would be out of commission for 2 days. And you can't have 2 young kids. I got a 19-month-old now and a 3.5-year-old and another little girl on the way. And beautiful kids, they're happy. We're in a nice spot. We're happy and things are good. Why would I want to mess that up?
Sure.
So anyway.
And what did you notice?
That's another piece to this puzzle.
More of what's going on the album as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like dealing with maybe stresses, maybe just kind of like getting it out.
Yeah, I mean, it was
not to be cliche, but just kind of venting.
There was a lot of stuff going on, and to be honest, this record. Steve and I started writing the record. Some of these songs back in like 2010.
Seriously.
Yeah, and we really kind of like took a break, and then we wrote more, and then took a break, and then it was like, man, these songs are too good not to release. Let's do it. Let's get these songs done and do it.
Now, is that when the band Sunset became official? Were you guys, have you been a band that long?
So, no, we, Steve and I had played together on and off for years. So we met in 2003.
Now, you're obviously not from Joliet. I know you're living in Willow Springs right now.
Yeah.
Now, how did you and Steve meet?
So we met, I joined oddly enough, my old band played with his band, Life at Sea, that he was playing in, this band I was in called L'Aspero. And we played with them at Double Door in Chicago. And
Sure.
they caught me stealing beer out of their dressing room. so they came in and they were like, what the fuck, man? I was like, and actually it wasn't me. It was one of the guys that was with us, but it might as well have been me because
Sure.
whatever, right? But long story short, I ran into the singer of that band. I was working the door at another bar, and long story short, he asked me what I was doing. He needed a guitarist. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing much. Let's try it out. So I joined the band. That's how I met Steve. Steve was the drummer, and so we started playing in that band, and then I was only in it for about a year. We did one record that our friend Casey helped us do. He's in the other room over there.
Mr. Casimir Kolasa?
Yeah, he's back there. He
Sunwise?
helped set this up. Yeah. And we did that record, and then I quit the band, and that's when Braid did a reunion tour actually in 2004 because we broke up originally in '99.
Okay.
And then so I quit, and then as soon as that was over, I actually went on that reunion tour. Came home, was so out of it from drinking and everything else that I ended up going crazy a little bit and drinking myself into oblivion for a minute. And I quit. So I quit for 3 years. But I quit, and then Steve joined the Firebird band. So Braid did our reunion tour. We just drank quite a bit on that tour, and it was a great tour. We had a really good time, but I couldn't even tell you much of it really.
Wow.
Which isn't awesome, It's not. That's not fun. I mean, it was fun at the time, I think, but that's not a thing that you want to, you know what I mean? I want to remember stuff.
Sure.
I want to be able to say yes, I do remember that time we hung out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would meet people on the road. I meet people on the road now. Remember when we did? I'm like, no, I really don't.
Man, right.
Yeah. And it's hard. That's a hard thing because you're just fuck, man, I can't believe all that time went by, but we were having fun, having a good time. And I don't regret a lot of things,
Well, you have to change in life sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was working when you were doing it. Now you need to go do something else,
Well, long story short, so back to Steve. So Steve joined the Firebird band, and
now he's the bassist of this band, though,
he's the
right?
drummer. So Steve is a multi-instrumentalist like I am.
Sure.
He and I played pretty much he played all. I'm not a drummer. I mean, I can play drums, but I'm not very good at it.
Sure.
Steve's an excellent drummer, and he can also play guitar and bass. I'm more of a guitarist and singer and vocalist, but also I can play bass pretty well. And so we did a lot of stuff where he'd play guitar on a song and bass, or I'd play bass, or really just whoever was feeling it. We kind of wrote it together.
Sure.
So like we wrote this record as a new Firebird Band record. We took a break from playing together for a while. Braid did some more reunion stuff. We did some records. We did a record in 2014, and that kind of like came in the middle of me and Steve writing this record. So that sort of threw off this record, because Steve and I like kind of Braid did sort of a touring cycle and a record release and all that stuff. So long story short, we wrote this record as a new Firebird Band record, but we realized that we wanted to get away from our past and start fresh.
Sure.
And because we felt like it was fresh and new, and it was just me and Steve. Now, we had some other friends come and play on it, some guys that had played in some bands with us before. So there's some guest musicians on a few songs, and it's all listed in the credits. But mainly it's just me. I mean, me and Steve wrote the songs together, and we wanted to start fresh and be like, this is our thing, man. You know, this is us, and let's start fresh. So that's why we decided to change the name. I didn't want to go out there and play old Firebird Band songs that we wrote in 2000. You know?
Sure.
I wanted to start fresh with a new thing, and also because, like, again, I'm at another turning point where my life is much different, man. I got kids, I got a family, but I also have like a lot to say, and this is kind of the record that I feel like I've been trying to make for the last 15 years. You know, I spent quite a long time, even after I quit drinking the first time in 2005. I didn't really write any music for 6-7 years. I mean, I did here and there, but like I was just sort of in a deep depression and just crazy.
What did you do musically during that time? Anything? And did you play like cover songs at least, or like revisit old things?
No, I literally just like worked at jobs that I hated, and moved into my dad's basement for a while. I mean, it's depressing. It's depressing, super depressing. And then, man, and then like I got
So what
into
got you out of that funk then? What made you decide, fuck all this, I'm going back to music?
Actually, oddly enough, it was, I think I moved back to the city because I was like, I'm done with this like depression bullshit. I'm done. This is stupid. So I moved back to the city, got a studio apartment in Chicago, and then ran into my old buddy Bob from Braid, and he was doing a DJ night, and I started doing it with him. It was like an emo DJ night, right?
Sure.
So we were playing like hits from the 90s and stuff, like, and whatever, like old hits. And so we were kind of reminiscing one night, and we decided we'd do a new Braid record. It was Steve and I I was also like reconnecting with Steve because like we'd had some time off from doing Firebird Band, because I kind of went into this weird relationship for a while with a girl that also kind of put me into that phase too. So it was like 3 years of depression and no drinking, but just super depression, and then 3 years of a relationship that was just not good for me. And then so like met with Steve again, we started playing, but I think Bob and I reminiscing about old times with Braid made us excited about maybe doing it again. So we did, but that's actually what got me back in, pulled me back into like, yes, Braid is always going to be what Braid is, but doing my own new thing is really what I want to focus on. And that's how it came about. And Steve, now Steve moved out to LA. In the middle of this whole thing, he moves to LA. And so we have a long distance band right now, but it works right now. He flies in for the shows, and we actually, they're flying in tonight. So I'm going to pick up Steve and the bass player, who's this guy, Harrison, who also used to live in Chicago, but he just moved out to LA. So, and it kind of made sense for him because Steve's out there too, and he has some other friends out there.
Now you have, did I hear correctly that you have Matt Yates playing drums?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Steve is on bass for this particular gig?
No, Steve plays guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So live. So part of this is because it's like Steve and my thing. I'm gonna be totally honest. Steve, and Steve's gonna hate me for calling him out, and I'm not. I would feel the same way. He's like, "Yo, man, this is like our band. Like, I gotta be up front playing guitar too, man. Let's do this." He's like, "I've never been up front playing guitar. I'm always behind the drums."
Right.
But because he's an excellent drummer is why he's always. I'm like, "You're an excellent drummer. So are you sure you want to do this? Because now we gotta find a drummer to fucking fill in. Excuse my language, but you gotta find a drummer to fill in, and." So Matt is the third guy playing drums for us live, But he's really great, and he came, he came really well prepared to the rehearsals with me, and he's been awesome.
And
Like, yeah,
He's also,
he's in Champaign.
yeah, but I mean, he does
a lot of bands.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's doing some high end stuff. I mean,
Yeah, he does some touring, and I know he does like tech work for stuff, and like for some bigger bands. Yeah.
and so I mean, we're completely honored. Well, no, I have nothing to do with this show, but the studio is excited to have you guys come and play this show. What made you guys want to stop at this place and
Oh.
play here?
I was telling Casey about that earlier when I ran into him. So we because we're all getting together.
Oh, and I'm sorry. The date of the show is December 9th.
Yeah, December 9th, a week from Saturday.
Yeah,
It's a
here at
week from
Third
this
City
Saturday.
Sound.
Yep.
And, one of my good friends, I'm in a few different bands myself.
Okay.
One of the bands, Ovef Ow.
Okay.
So we'll have all kinds of out of town, so to speak, musicians here on the 9th. It's going to be a great show. If none of you or only some of you have been up here, it's usually a $10 donation for the out of town bands to get them back home. It's a BYOB. There's like a fridge up here. You can buy beer at Chicago Street downstairs and bring them upstairs. There's really no excuse to not come.
Yeah,
It's
this
always
place
a
is
great
rad.
time.
This place
Yeah.
is I mean, I've never been here, and it's awesome.
It's a lot of
awesome.
fun, man.
Yeah. I'm excited to do it. We because the guys are flying in, right?
Right.
And we were booking a few shows, and we had the record release. We just got back from a tour we did on the East Coast about a month ago, and that's actually when we finally inked the deal with the label.
Okay.
So we met with them, and they saw us live, and we signed the deal, and so apparently we didn't f up that bad live.
Yeah.
And then so that went well, and then now we're kind of wanted to do something to follow the record, because finally the record's out, and the record was supposed to be out before that tour. So it was actually supposed to be out back in March, but that's a long story, longer than the one I told earlier. But anyway,
That's what we're here for, man.
but I'll tell you that so we were gonna do some shows, and I was like, like Steve, like what's up with because he had told me about Casey has another band here too in town.
Yep, Sunwise.
And I was saying, what's up with that? Because we were trying to literally, I got back from that tour and started booking a new tour that's like only 2 months away, like almost a little more than 2 months away. And that's not enough time to start a tour, booking a tour. So we were trying to pull shows out. I'm like, man, we got to fill these dates because everyone's going to be here in town, and there's no reason for us not to be playing.
Sure.
So I had tried a few other places, but a lot of the places that I know are I couldn't get a show in Madison, which is fine. Who cares, Madison? Who cares? But I mean, I care.
It's a
but
fun
it's fine.
town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
fun.
fun town.
But we couldn't get. We were trying to do Joliet. Wasn't my it's not because it's not my first choice. I just didn't know that there was anything happening.
Sure.
So I
no.
said, Steve, what's
Again,
happening?
the point of the show,
Yeah.
right?
So what's happening? I talked to Steve and Casey still chat, and they've been friends a long time. They went to high school together, and so I was like, hey, why don't you talk to maybe Casey knows? Maybe we can play with them. I don't know. Maybe he knows something in the suburbs, because we're here. Let's play something. Let's do something awesome. And then when I found out it was going to be here, I looked it up. I'm like, oh man, that looks like a cool place. And let's do it. 100%. We were down right away. So it was an easy yes. It was an easy thing for us to say, yes, let's do that. And luckily, Casey had a good connection here with you guys, or Will or Bill. Is that his name? Bill?
Bill, yeah.
Bill. I see it as William.
Yeah.
William Aldridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we've Bill and I have gone back and forth a little bit, just chatting. I think via Facebook Messenger or something.
Sure.
But either way, anyway, so it was yeah, man, let's do this. And then, but luckily Casey knew a great place, and it wasn't just some well, I guess we'll just play some half-assed bar
yeah.
that's gonna suck and no one's gonna come. We're gonna play somewhere that's a rad place, and then you guys are doing this. He asked me the other night, he's like, you want to do this podcast? I'm like, what is it? He's like, it's this. I'm like, it's all about what's happening in Joliet. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do that podcast. I don't live that far away. Let's go do it.
Yeah,
you know
right
what I
on.
mean?
And we
Yeah.
appreciate it too.
Yeah.
How serendipitous.
Yeah. It really worked out. You guys, I'm excited. What a cool spot.
Yeah, this
On
is
that
going to be a
note.
good show.
Yeah.
And those are the chimes signaling the end
Yeah.
of the interview portion of the
Thank you.
interview.
Thank you.
Do you have a second song?
I could do one. It's again the first time I've ever played this one live.
That's kind of
well, not
exciting.
live, but acoustic.
I-
You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's do it. We'll do it.
Does any show host not want an exclusive, brand new version
You
of a
guys,
song?
I mean, this is the first one. First
this
time.
is the real deal.
All right. It might take me a couple times to get this this beginning right, but we'll figure it out. Yes. Okay. As you tread black water and your body's giving in and you're sinking, yeah, you're sinking. Fuck, I'm gonna do it again. Here we go. Let's try it again. Here we go. Take two. Here we go. You got to hear the recorded version of this song. It's way better.
Well, and we're gonna make sure to have links.
Oh yeah, cool.
Links to everything.
Check it out. Yeah, check it out. All right. As you tread black water and your body's giving in and you're sinking, yeah, you're sinking, you're sinking. You haven't had enough, you haven't had enough. If you just burn all your bridges now, your bridges always see through, always see, always remember how it ends, always see through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Always see through, always remember how it ends, always see through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? As you wait for the bottom and you try to take a breath, you need it, yeah, you need it, you need it. You haven't lived enough, you haven't lived enough. If you just break all your promises, your promises, always see through, always see, always remember how it ends, always see through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Always see through, always remember how it ends, always see through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Blue picture, this circle, one headlight and you still pretend. Red paint now, big bright lights, wet pavement, rest the broken glass. Always see through, always see, always remember how it ends, always see through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Always see through, always see, always remember how it ends, always see through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
That was great.
Thanks.
That was great.
Thanks. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys having me. Like, it's been really awesome.
Yeah, it's been a great time, man. I can't wait to go back and listen to this myself now.
Awesome. Well, I
And,
can't wait to do the show. I'm really excited. You guys, if you're listening, please come out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Dave, thanks for What's that? Dave's been muted.
I was muted.
Dave, man, like we really not a lot of Dave on this one.
It was not.
I talk a lot, man. I'm a talker.
Well, it's supposed to be a show about you. That's
I'm the opposite of what you would call a talker.
I'm in the middle.
But who's been sitting here the whole time and hasn't said anything is Casey. I'm going to make him say something right now.
Come on, Casey. What do you got for me?
We tried.
Hi.
Hi. That's what we get. He says hi.
I love it.
And
I
the whole
love it.
time, my head's going, sunwise, sunset. Sunwise.
That's gotta be the new chant.
It's kind of like you got a problem with R's. Sunwise, sunset.
Yeah, no R's. Who wants any R's in
Yeah.
there, man? They get fucked up anyways.
Yeah.
Dave,
Tom?
thanks for everything, man.
Yeah, man.
Dave set the entire room up after being in the studio and rehearsals and craziness all week. I really appreciate that.
Well, you know, it's what we do up here at Third City Sound. We got a couple of big albums coming out. I think official announcements are pending.
Yes, we have to wait until December 1st, but
But
I
Third
may
City-
finally have a release. That'd be the best.
Man, it's hard to wait on those. You really want to
It
say
really is.
something.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
tell.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell.
It's going to be a good party, man. It's going to be a
Yeah.
fun
Exciting.
time. So, but Dave's been helping on that. And Mr. Bill Aldrich, of course, is always lending his expertise and, of course, his cash to rent this studio that we sit in each week. And thanks to Mike and Kathy Trisna for keeping the pub as one of the main music hubs for original music, not just in Joliet, but just about anywhere. It's not often you can go and just play your own tunes and not have to worry about playing covers if you don't have any. It's a blessing and a treat, and we get to meet all these crazy, amazing musicians that pour their heart out in every song, and I get to sit here and watch it live while you guys just listen to it. Ha 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 ha! This has been What's Going Down in Downtown J-Town.
Here's a clue about that show.
You could have cued that faster, man.
It's a slow fade in.
What's that?
It's our good buddy Brian Motel of River Horse.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's a good sound.
Yeah, we can talk.